case that began as a murder investigation has now evolved into one of India's most closely followed legal stories. With every court hearing, new developments emerge. At the same time, the case has sparked a much broader national conversation, one that extends beyond the courtroom and into questioning about parenting, relationships, and personal choice. So, where does the case stand today? Here is a clear breakdown. Let's begin with the legal developments. Sia Goel remains in judicial custody after her bail plea was rejected. As the investigation continues, she is expected to appear before the Maharashtra court again, where the prosecution and the defense will present their respective arguments. At this point, the investigation is still ongoing and no final verdict has been delivered, but the legal proceedings are only one part of the story. In recent interviews, Sia's parents publicly defended their daughter. They said she never expressed any hesitation about the proposed marriage and described Chetan as someone their family respected. According to them, both families shared a positive relationship and there was no indication marriage would become a source of conflict. They also argued that the evidence available so far does not conclusively establish Sia's involvement in Chetan's death. In their view, the investigation should be allowed to run its course before conclusions are drawn in the court of public opinion. Even while defending his daughter, Sia's father made one point clear. If the court ultimately finds her guilty, she should face the punishment prescribed by law. Meanwhile, investigators continue examining the evidence. According to investigators, the case relies on circumstantial evidence, forensic findings, and crime scene reconstruction. As the proceedings continue, the prosecution is expected to present these findings before the court. Whether the available evidence is sufficient to establish guilt beyond reasonable doubt will ultimately be decided by the judiciary. Discussion took a different turn after author Chetan Bhagat published an opinion piece titled "Why Couldn't Sia Say No to Marriage?" Bhagat made it clear that the murder can never be justified. His focus, however, was on the broader question: why do some young adults struggle to tell their parents they don't want an arranged marriage? He argued that the case has opened a wider conversation about parenting, financial dependency, and communication within Indian families. His views quickly divided public opinion. Supporters felt that the article raised uncomfortable but necessary questions about family dynamics. Critics, however, argued that it was inappropriate to draw broad conclusions about Indian parenting from an ongoing criminal investigation. In their view, individual accountability must remain separate from wider social debates. Former IPS officer Kiran Bedi has also urged restraint. She believes people should avoid reaching conclusions before the judicial process is complete. She has also suggested that cases like this deserve psychological as well as legal examination, as they may reveal deeper social and behavioral issues. So what happens next? The investigation is continuing. The prosecution will present its evidence and defense will challenge the allegations, and the court will evaluate every argument and every piece of evidence before reaching a decision. Until then, the Sia Goel case remains both an important legal proceeding and a wider national conversation about family expectations, communication, and individual choice. Whatever the final outcome, it will be determined in the court of law, not through headlines, social media, or public opinion. Thank you for watching. If you find this report informative, consider subscribing to the channel. Clear, balanced, and in-depth coverage of the stories that matter. We'll meet in the next video. Signing off.